Hi, this is Debbie Hughes from Lime Design, and in today's video I am pencil colouring flowers on Kraft card. It feels so good to be colouring flowers again, and I can't wait to welcome spring and spend time in my garden. To keep me going until that can happen, I pulled out the new Simon Says Stamp You Have My Heart set and my FABER POLYCHROMOS. I always love the look of pencil on Kraft. So here's the You Have My Heart set. It has a corner bouquet, wreath and a few individual flowers and leaves, as well as lovely script and simple font combinations. There are matching dies too, although I don't use those for this card. I took a piece of Neenah Desert Storm card and placed it in the Misti with a corner flower bouquet. I stamped this in clear embossing ink to give a tone-on-tone outline I could follow when colouring. Please excuse the hair tie around my finger. It's a convenient place to keep it while my hair was drying and before tying it back. It's the only thing you'll see on my fingers apart from band-aids, as I had to give up wearing rings since becoming allergic to them, even my wedding and engagement rings. Anyway, back to the card. I pressed firmly to ensure I had a good impression over the whole of the image, and then having stamped the flowers on the Kraft panel, I took to my FABER-CASTELL Polychromo pencils. I prefer these over Prismacolor pencils as the leads are a touch harder, which makes them easier to sharpen to a fine point, and they break less often. Polychromos still break, but less so than Prismacolor pencils. As for keeping a sharp point, you should always sharpen your pencils to keep a fine point to get the best colouring. It's been a while since I used my pencils, so I am far from an expert, but the method I use is to place down the shadows first with my darkest pencil in the hue I'm working on, and then work my way up to the lightest colour. I always try to keep in mind the highlights I want to include, as it's very easy to add too much colour and then everything looks a bit flat. Making sure you get those deep shadows is easier. You can always go back in and add deeper colour or more pressure with your pencil to increase the shade, but it's very difficult to lighten the colour. So yes, always keep those highlights in mind. In the past, I have gone in with a white pencil first and marked out where I wanted the highlights to be to ensure I built them into the colouring when I got to each area. In the description below, you'll find a list of all the products I've used today with a link to take you directly to that product. On my blog, you will find a list of all the colours of pencils in case you want to duplicate the exact shades. I'll play some music now while I work my way around the colouring, and I'll be back to chat through how I finish the card. The Love Greeting set has so many possibilities. I decided on the simple black banner for this card and stamped it in VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink on ivory card. I trimmed out the sentiment strip and then added foam adhesive to the back of this and the coloured craft panel. I added the panel to a card base cut and scored from ivory card and then used a T-square ruler to add the sentiment on straight. To finish, I added a sprinkling of cotton candy Glossies from HIckey and eggshell pearls from Little Things from Lucy's Cards. I used a Marvy jewel picker tool to help me place the pearls, which I kept in place with Gina Connect glue. And that completes this card, pencil colouring spring flowers on craft card. As I mentioned, there are links in the YouTube description to the products that I've used today, as well as a coordinating link to the blog post over at limedoodledesign.com, where you'll find the list of individual colours of pencil. I want to thank you for joining me, and if you've enjoyed this tutorial, I'd be delighted if you give it a thumbs up and to subscribe to this channel. Also, if you'd like to get notified when a new video is out, don't forget to hit the bell button next to the subscribe button too. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.